I'm Ann Brummitt, and I'm the director of the Milwaukee River Work Group. The work group has been around since 2006, and we are a collaborative that is working to, first of all, get protections for the Milwaukee River, permanent protections, and second of all, we're working on a master plan for what we're calling the Milwaukee River Greenway, which is an area that stretches from just upstream from the Riverwalk, which is the downtown area of Milwaukee, to Silver Spring, which is where suburbs start. It's called an overlay zone, and let me just tell you a little bit of the history. I mean, when I started on this project, the people who said there was a need for this said, we just want to protect the river, and what can we use? And we didn't know, is it an act of Congress to have it declared a wild and scenic river? Do you go to the state and have Governor Doyle declare something, or do you act at a local level? So that was our first thing, and then we figured out that we weren't going to be able to have the Milwaukee River classified as a wild and scenic river for lots of reasons you can probably imagine, and that the state avenue wasn't open to us, and so we decided to go through municipal zoning, which is kind of a pain because you have to work with each city individually, but that was really the only tool that we had. So it's called an overlay zone, meaning that there's a type of zoning that goes over what's already underneath. So it becomes more restrictive and tells you what you can and cannot do in that particular area. And what we're interested in is how far away from the river you can build and how high you can build. So we wanted people to build a little bit further away and build a little bit lower so that you would protect the habitat and water quality and provide space for recreation and all of that stuff. Well, I think there's a huge amount of recreation that goes on now, mountain bikers, hikers, birders, but it's kind of anarchy down there. It's not very well organized, and some of that recreational activity happens to the detriment of the environment. So part of this process is figuring out where it best makes sense to do those activities. And then the other thing is to, draw some attention and to sort of highlight the recreational possibilities. I mean, the people who know about it, it's kind of their own private little resource, but a lot of people don't know how to access it and can't access it. Access is an issue. So I think that's part of the process. And then just to build a community vision for, what kind of activities make sense there. And what's coming through loud and clear is that people want it to remain very natural. They don't want a manicured, Central Park kind of place, but they want a natural corridor. I mean, my hope would be that we can really restore the habitat, and that's a big part of, we're doing, recreational goals and habitat goals. And so I would hope that we can restore the habitat as much as is possible in an urban environment and make it a really vital wildlife corridor. So, I mean, that means getting rid of all the invasives and making it look like, as much as possible, what a mature, river bank looked like before, European settlers came in. And that's a huge jump from where we're at. But, I think if you set those targets, then you can make that goal. Well, I think it's kind of all hands on deck time. I mean, I think we all should be doing something, because I think you can get kind of pessimistic about where we're heading if you think too much about climate change. And so I think that there's a side of me that just felt like I had to do something on a local, the old bumper sticker, think globally, act locally. So this is my little, contribution to do something to make me feel better about myself.